December 2025 did not arrive with a single explosive announcement from Jungkook. There was no surprise album drop, no stadium tour reveal, and no dramatic press conference. Yet, paradoxically, this final month of the year has become one of the most defining periods of his career. Through a convergence of high-profile magazine covers, global brand partnerships, television appearances, and ongoing public discourse surrounding fame and privacy, Jungkook's position as a global pop figure has been not only reaffirmed, but reshaped. December 2025 stands as a moment of consolidation, where his influence, relevance, and cultural weight became unmistakably clear. Rather than signaling a loud comeback, the month reflected something deeper: the transformation of Jungkook from a beloved K-pop idol into a fully established global pop star, navigating a new phase of adulthood, responsibility, and artistic longevity. The end of military service often marks a fragile moment for Korean artists. Momentum can stall, public interest may shift, and expectations can become burdensome. For Jungkook, however, the post-military phase unfolded differently. By December 2025, all BTS members had completed their mandatory service, officially closing one of the longest pauses in modern K-pop history. This collective return placed Jungkook at the center of renewed anticipation, not just as BTS's youngest member, but as an artist who had already proven himself capable of carrying global attention independently. The question surrounding Jungkook was no longer, can he maintain relevance? It had quietly evolved into, how far can he go from here? One of the most symbolic moments of December 2025 was Jungkook's appearance on Rolling Stone covers across Korea, the United Kingdom, and Japan. Rolling Stone has historically reserved such cross-regional projects for artists whose appeal transcends borders and language barriers. For Jungkook, however, this was not simply a visual milestone, it was a cultural endorsement. The editorial surrounding the feature emphasized his evolution, from prodigious maknae to a global performer who commands both commercial power and artistic credibility. The imagery avoided excessive spectacle, instead opting for restrained confidence, a visual language often associated with longevity rather than hype. In many ways, the Rolling Stone project framed Jungkook not as a trend, but as a fixture. December also marked Jungkook's official emergence as a global ambassador for Chanel Beauty, a partnership that drew attention far beyond K-pop media. Luxury houses are increasingly selective in choosing ambassadors who embody more than popularity. Chanel's decision to align with Jungkook reflected a recognition of his multi-generational appeal, global reach, and understated charisma. Industry analysts noted the strategic nature of the partnership. Jungkook does not rely on extravagance or shock value. His influence operates through consistency, relatability, and quiet authority. This aligns with Chanel's modern branding direction: youthful yet timeless, global yet personal. The announcement reinforced a key truth of December 2025. Jungkook's relevance was no longer limited to music charts. He had become a cultural signal. While magazine covers and luxury partnerships highlighted Jungkook's global stature, television told a different, more intimate story. The release of Are You Sure? Season 2, featuring Jungkook alongside Jimin, offered audiences a glimpse into a more grounded version of the artist. Filmed in travel-based settings, the show emphasized conversation, reflection, and genuine friendship rather than performance. For many viewers, this contrast became central to Jungkook's December narrative. Here was a global icon who could shift seamlessly between fashion editorials and candid laughter, between international headlines and quiet personal moments. The show's reception underscored a crucial aspect of Jungkook's appeal: authenticity. In an industry increasingly dominated by curated perfection, his ability to appear unguarded resonated deeply with audiences worldwide. December 2025 was not without controversy. Renewed discussions about Jungkook's private life surfaced across online communities and international media. While no official confirmations were made, the discourse itself became a topic of reflection. Rather than centering on rumor details, many conversations shifted toward broader questions. How much access does the public deserve? Where does admiration cross into entitlement? In this sense, Jungkook became a focal point for a larger cultural conversation about celebrity boundaries in the digital age. His silence, choosing not to address speculation directly, was interpreted by many as a mature assertion of autonomy rather than avoidance. This restraint marked a departure from earlier phases of idol culture, signaling a generational shift in how artists navigate fame. Beyond headlines and debates, the numbers continued to speak. Streaming figures for Jungkook's solo catalog remained remarkably stable throughout December 2025. His music continued to perform strongly across platforms, despite the absence of new releases. This endurance reinforced his position not as a momentary phenomenon, but as an artist with lasting audience engagement. Media analysts noted that such consistency is rare, particularly for artists transitioning between major career phases. Jungkook's ability to sustain attention without constant output became one of the most telling indicators of his global standing. December 2025 also functioned as a bridge between Jungkook's individual journey and BTS's collective future. With all members reunited, speculation surrounding a 2026 comeback intensified. Yet Jungkook's activities throughout December suggested a careful balance. Rather than rushing into announcements, the focus appeared to be on rebuilding rhythm, trust, and creative alignment. For Jungkook, this balance is particularly significant. As both a core pillar of BTS and a globally recognized solo artist, his path forward carries symbolic weight. December 2025 demonstrated that these identities are not in conflict, they coexist. What makes December 2025 uniquely defining for Jungkook is not any single achievement, but the coherence of it all. Fashion, music, television, public discourse, and cultural impact converged into a narrative of stability rather than spectacle. This is often the hallmark of artists who move beyond peak moments into sustained legacies. Jungkook did not dominate December through noise, he did so through presence. As December 2025 progressed, a noticeable shift occurred in how global media framed Jungkook's presence. Earlier in his career, coverage often emphasized growth, youth, and promise. By contrast, late December reporting adopted a more settled tone, one that treated him not as a rising figure, but as an established constant. This change was subtle but meaningful. International outlets increasingly referenced Jungkook in broader discussions of global pop culture, rather than confining him to K-pop-specific narratives. His name appeared alongside Western pop artists in trend analyses, luxury brand market reports, and cultural commentary pieces examining the evolving nature of celebrity in the streaming era. In effect, Jungkook was no longer being introduced to the global audience. He was being assumed. One of the most remarkable aspects of Jungkook's December 2025 presence was the balance he maintained between visibility and restraint. Unlike previous years, where promotional cycles dominated headlines, Jungkook's appearances were carefully spaced and contextually varied. A fashion editorial here, a television episode there, followed that extended periods of relative quiet. This pacing stood in stark contrast to the hyper-visibility that often leads to public fatigue. Media strategists have noted that this rhythm reflects a growing understanding within HYBE, and perhaps Jungkook himself, that long-term relevance depends not on constant output, but on intentional absence. December 2025 exemplified this philosophy. Jungkook remained highly visible without becoming overwhelming, a balance few global stars managed successfully. Within fan communities, December became a month of reflection rather than frenzy. Online discussions across platforms such as Weverse, Reddit, and X, formerly Twitter, revealed a noticeable shift in tone. Instead of solely focusing on speculation about upcoming releases, many fans engaged in broader conversations about Jungkook's well-being, artistic direction, and personal growth. This evolution mirrors Jungkook's own trajectory. As he transitions further into adulthood, the audience that has grown with him appears increasingly willing to support a slower, more deliberate pace. Importantly, this shift does not indicate declining enthusiasm. On the contrary, engagement metrics remained strong throughout December. What changed was the nature of engagement, moving from demand-driven anticipation to trust-based patience. By December 2025, Jungkook had come to represent more than individual success. As one of the most globally recognized Korean artists of his generation, his career continues to influence how Asian musicians are perceived in international markets. Industry commentators pointed out that Jungkook's sustained prominence, especially without English language exclusivity, challenges long-standing assumptions about global pop accessibility. His success reinforces the idea that emotional authenticity, performance excellence, and cultural specificity can coexist with global appeal. This broader implication places Jungkook in a unique position. Every appearance, collaboration, or public decision carries symbolic weight, not because he seeks it, but because his presence has come to signify possibility.